Hello children, we'll be starting with Standard 9 Economics, the nature and the classification of an economy. First, we'll study the meaning of the term economy. The broad institutional framework within which economic interaction takes place. Economic interaction means consumption, production, distribution and exchange. We have discussed about these earlier. Economic interaction between a buyer and a seller, between two people. There can be production, consumption, distribution, exchange or any activity in which money is involved is known as economic interaction. And that the institutions which are involved in carrying on economic interaction together comprise the economy. For example, production is done in a firm. Firm is a part of the economy. Consumption is done by consumers who are a part of the household. That forms a part of the economy. Okay. Hence, an economy is a broad institutional framework within which the entire economic interactions take place. Now, the various types of economies on the basis of degree of economic development. We'll explain these terms, developed and developing. Economic development basically depends upon how much money is earned by a particular country. And the second category of differentiation is on the basis of the economic system. We have three types of economies: capitalistic, socialistic and a mixed economy. Let's start with the first part, that is the types of economies on the basis of economic development, a developed economy and a developing economy. A developed economy is one which has high real per capita income. Now, per capita income means the total income of the country divided by the total population. Suppose in a particular country there are 5 people residing and the total income, all of them don't earn same, but the total of their income is 100 rupees. The per capita income will be one person's income, that is total income 100 by population 5, that is equal to 20 rupees. That means we are finding out an average. Each one is not earning 20. One may be earning 10 and the other one may be earning 30. But here we are assuming the per capita income is an average of the income of the people living in that particular area. There's another term added here. Real per capita income. Real per capita income means the number of goods and services which a person can buy with his per capita income. Say, with 100 rupees, a person can buy 5 kgs of potatoes if the price of potato is 20 rupees per kg. That is termed as real per capita income. A country is said to be a developed one if the real per capita income is high. That means people are able to buy more and better quality of goods. A developing country is one in which the real per capita income is low. That means people are earning lesser amount of money, so they are able to buy lesser amount of goods. And in these type of economies, there is a potentiality of development. There is a chance of development. Now let's study the features of developed and underdeveloped economy in the form of a difference between. Look at the first difference between the developing economy and the developed economy. The developed economy was earlier termed as, or we can also call it as an underdeveloped economy. Look at the first one. Low per capita income, high per capita income. People earn less, people earn more. Low standard of living, high standard of living. Low standard of living means goods they purchase, houses they stay in, living condition. They have low living conditions, they have better living conditions. They live in slums, they live in well-constructed houses. They use poor quality goods, they use good quality products. Standard of living depends upon the goods which the people of the area use. Then, in a developing economy, there is poverty, more of poverty. Many people are poor. In a developed economy, less people are poor. Low incidence of poverty. Then, in a developed economy, inequalities exist. That means some people earn more, some earn less. There's a difference in their income. In a developed economy, there is less inequality. That means less difference between the earning of the rich and the poor. Nobody is that poor. Everybody earns a sufficient amount of money. Here, people are dependent upon agriculture for employment, for earning their livelihood. Here, people work in the manufacturing sector. That means produce goods from raw materials. Industries they work. And here, also they work in the service sector. For example, transport is a service sector. Next comes higher contribution of agriculture in national income. That means whatever income is earned by the country, maximum part comes from the agriculture sector. Here, whatever income is earned by the country, maximum part comes from the industrial sector and services sector. Then, population increases at a fast rate, population increases at a slower rate. There is existence of large unemployment. Many people are unemployed because agriculture is the only source of employment. They can only work in the agricultural sector. Here, there is low level of unemployment. Most of the people are employed already. Inadequate infrastructure, roads, schools, hospitals do not exist. Proper roads. Okay. Adequate number of schools, adequate number of hospitals do not exist. There is substantial infrastructural development. Good roads, hospitals, schools, sanitation facilities, banks, etc. exist in a developed economy. Then, for production, the farmers use traditional, means old and less efficient methods of production. For example, bullock carts for ploughing the field instead of tractors. Here, the industries use advanced technology for manufacturing the product. Then, poor quality of human capital. Human beings who are working in the manufacturing units have low quality. Why they have low quality? Because they are uneducated, they have not received education, and due to inadequate availability of health facilities. No medicines, no doctors, no hospitals. So people remain sick and are not able to work properly. The opposite happens in a developed economy. In this, there's high literacy. Most of the people are educated. Okay. And they get better health facilities. So they stay healthy. As a result, they can work better. The last one, goods which are exported in a underdeveloped economy include primary exports. Exports means selling goods to foreign country. What type of goods do we export? Those produced in the agricultural sector, and they are known as primary exports. Here, what type of goods are exported? The goods produced in the industrial sector and the services. These type of exports are also known as secondary exports. The rest of the chapter we'll discuss in the next video.